To White Noise episode 4. I'm Kyle and I'm here with MakBot from YouTube, also known as Nicholas Deary. Okay, you're Nicholas Deary, also known as MakBot. I got that backwards. Would you like to
Yeah.
introduce yourself real quick and just tell people what you do and stuff?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I go by the name MakBot on YouTube, and I mainly create sort of cartoon parodies based on video games and TV and film. Yeah.
So, you started on Newgrounds, like I
Yes,
did.
I did indeed. Yes, I did.
Uh,
I set up my account in, I believe it was May 2006, so coming
oh,
up to nearly 10
definitely
years, I
earlier
guess.
than me then.
Yeah, well, I actually had luck the other day, like when you sort of set up your accounts, and it seems like it's kind of a similar time, pretty early on,
Yeah,
like 2007, 2006 time, and it does seem so long ago. And back then, just it's just so funny looking back at like your first cartoons you submit to Newgrounds. I think everyone has that kind of story of their first Stickman cartoon or whatever it was.
yeah. Well, I remember, I think around the same time I was getting into internet videos and stuff in general, but I hadn't actually
Yeah.
I hadn't made a Newgrounds account yet. I actually got into Newgrounds a little bit late. It was like 2009 or something that I think actually made my account.
Right.
Yeah, because when I first started, I actually didn't go to Newgrounds much. There were other ones. There was one called like it was just flashplayer.com or something that I would go to watch things.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I think I found. Um, do you know who Nox is? He made the claymation. That
Oh
that was his
yeah.
name back then.
Yes. Yeah, I used to
Yeah,
be a big fan of his. Yeah.
that's actually I think what started me off personally was just finding those goofy videos and then going from there.
Yeah. So what was like your first kind of like what medium was your first cartoon? Was it like stick animation? Was it clay? Like
I
what was your
tried the
first
clay
thing?
stuff because I wanted
Yeah.
to make things like him. And then gravity ruined most of my productions, and I realized I could do it. I could just draw stuff instead, so I moved on to doing that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, I remember I got this little like sort of Lego cam like little home Lego studio. I don't know if anyone got the same thing. That was when I was
That
about
sounds
10, and
familiar. I definitely saw it. I don't know if I owned one, but
yeah. And I got that for my birthday when I was about 10, and that's when I first started making clay animations. And then for a while I kind of went off it because I kind of lost a bit of motivation. And then I think about 2004 was when I started going on Newgrounds, and I was just like really inspired by some of a lot of the cartoons on there, and that's I think when I started transitioning into Flash. So, and then it's kind of history from there, really.
yeah. Was it more? Because again, I didn't join until 2009. Was it more active back in 2004, or was it pretty steady the
I
whole
think
way?
I think I'd say the peak of Newgrounds I think was 2006/2007, but
Okay.
definitely in 2004 it was starting to boom, and that was when I think some of the sort of main series started to come out, and like I think people have started to make like 20-minute Flash cartoon stuff and like somehow like compress it into the what was it, like a 5 megabyte limit or
I
something
remember it being
back
10. I
then.
was just thinking about this earlier today, just because of how
Yeah.
ridiculous that is compared to video files now.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I guess back then it was like Flash MX or whatever it was. So I'm trying to think, because I don't think they had like blur filters then, because Flash 8 hadn't come out. But
Oh yeah,
people started to do some really impressive stuff in Flash, and I was like, you know what, like, this is the time to sort of try and get into 2D animation, see what happens, I think, for
yeah.
me.
I remember playing around with it. There was for most of middle school, I was like, my goal was getting a copy of Flash. Like I couldn't afford it because it was stupid expensive.
Yeah, it was.
And I got like a couple free trials and at different times to mess with it. And then I had another software called Anime Studio for a while,
Oh
which
yeah,
is really
yeah.
bad. It is my least favorite software for anything that I've ever used. But I
Isn't
made
that what, isn't
Go
that what
ahead.
people are using now to make backgrounds?
You know
I
what?
heard.
I've every now and then I hear someone mention it as if they use it for a legitimate purpose, and I just pretend that I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I might be thinking of something else, but I heard it's really good for backgrounds. I know maybe someone can comment and can clarify, but I'm pretty sure I saw like an Oni video where he was using it to make backgrounds, I think, and he was commenting how the name sounded really stupid, but it was actually quite
Yeah.
a good
Well,
program.
and it's been years since I used it, so it could be completely different by now, but the version I used was just awful. For proof, you can go look at the video I made with it, actually. My first cartoon ever that I posted online was called Yoda's Christmas. And it
I watched that.
Oh, did
Well, I
you?
watched. There's a few on your channel, and I was watching a little bit of it, and I like it was well. It's one of the most viewed videos
It
on your
is
channel,
still
isn't
one
it?
of the most viewed videos because it's been around the longest. That's the only reason, is because it's been there for like 7 years.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I was thinking it actually. I was impressed by like how good it was for the time it was made. You know, I
I
was impressed by
I
it,
was
man.
proud of it for, my first actual animated thing.
Yeah, man, you should be. I think that's good considering my first efforts were my first cartoon I ever submitted to Newgrounds back in 2006. That was this stick animation of two sticks having like a fighting duel, and it
Right,
got
yeah.
blamed.
Remember those
It just
videos
got
going?
it got blamed
Ah,
immediately, and then the first one, which has actually stayed on my channel, is I think it's just called Gorilla's music video, and just because I liked Gorillas at the time, obviously because the cartoon videos were quite, I thought they were really interesting, so I just basically made like a Gorillas music video, with copyright music, no regard for like that those kind of things,
right.
and it was actually a really heartbreaking moment because when I wasn't really savvy about like how to upload stuff to the internet, so I forgot to put the preloader
Yeah,
keyframe at the start. So because the internet was like kind of bad back then, it would just play straight on the video, and it played really jittery because it hadn't loaded properly.
right.
So it got blamed because people were like, I can't watch it properly, and I was just like, oh man, because in my mind I thought it was going to be like such an epic cartoon back
Yeah.
then, and I was so disappointed. But I actually re-uploaded it with a preloaded the next day, and it actually stayed somehow. So that's my
Okay.
first ever video.
Nice. See,
Yeah, yeah.
the only reason I don't have those, those stick animations up on Newgrounds is just because I didn't post them. It's not because like Yoda's Christmas was the first thing that I ever made. It's just everything I made before that, I knew it wasn't worth putting up. I was just really picky on my own work. It was the main thing. So I was like, well, I made this, but that's crap. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna throw it away now and move on to something else.
Oh, cool. So you got like an archive, like unreleased material
I
somewhere.
don't think I held on to most of them, but yeah, there's a few things in there somewhere that are like much shorter animations made with the same programs.
Maybe you could like in one of the streams, some like a special stream, you could like play like a show reel of them or
Yeah,
something.
I'm sure I could find them somewhere. I still have.
Um,
That's the weird thing is, like used to, or maybe it's just me, and maybe most people don't do this, but used to, I assume if your computer got old, you replaced it with a new one, and that was it. But I've made copies of my old hard drives every time I've replaced my computer, so I have a big, several terabyte large drive with my old C drives from my old
right.
computers just saved on them. So I have all my
Yeah.
files from back in 2006, 2005, from when I got my first computer.
Yeah.
So I could
That's
find
cool.
them.
Yeah. I mean, I found like a hard drive with a lot of my old Newgrounds stuff from like 2007, and it was around the time I was doing like a lot of collabs, and I just found some really old like Flash like .fla files, and I was just looking through that, and it was really
Yeah,
nostalgic. It was quite nice, just kind of looking at kind of more humbler times, really.
yeah, right. um, I've so what? Yeah, I assume you've seen the new Adobe update on Flash, turning it into Adobe Animate.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I haven't tried it actually. I've just seen quite a lot of tweets, and it seems to be a bit slightly mixed to like slightly negative. It seems at the
Really?
moment. Well, people are saying that the brush still is a bit wonky, and like personally, like I don't use the brush tool that much, so I don't really doesn't it's not as vital to me. But apparently,
Right.
the brush is still a bit glitchy or something. But I'm just using Flash CC for the moment, so I don't really need to upgrade for a little while. But I will try it at some point. I might as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to try it just because it was something that bugged me for a while. I remember that just that the whole software wasn't more animation focused. Like it's a really great software considering the fact that it was not ever intended to make animated cartoons. Like
Yeah.
it's a yeah, it was a weird implementation of it for everybody to just suddenly realize, hey, we could make animations with this, even though that wasn't the point. And so it always kind of irritated me as Flash started losing traction that Adobe didn't think, maybe we should just make this more conducive to the things people use it for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm at least happy that they're doing that, even if the new, the first version is a little bit glitchy or something. Just the fact that they're
Mhm.
paying attention to it is nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to go in that sort of direction and kind of making it more direct, saying, this is now officially, from what we're concerned, an animation software. But I guess you could possibly use it for other stuff. Because
Right.
I remember with like, I think it was like Flash CS3 or CS4. When you had the opening screen, it was like, do you want to make like an iPhone app? It's like, no, like I just want to do like an animation.
I
So
made,
I mean, yeah,
I made my first website with Flash, like
yeah.
in Flash. I didn't know anything about websites, but I knew that on Flash you could export HTMLs, and so I went into and actually built my website in Flash and exported the SWF and HTML files and uploaded that, and that was the first
All
landing site. It was so bad.
Did it? I mean, did it have the purpose though? Did it work for what it was? Was it all right?
I mean, it didn't not work. It would open and kind of function, but it was an excellent example of why nobody online uses Flash anymore.
Yeah, I suppose the idea is, I guess it might be quite uncompressed, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it was
using
like there was no HTML anywhere. It was just a Flash file. That's all that loaded up, because I just didn't get how that worked.
So it was like a fixed dimension as well, no matter what screen size.
Yeah, no, it was a mess. But
I've never, like, I don't have a website. I've never really had one. I had when he had like what was like the free webs kind of websites. I used to have one of those, but to me, like, I've never really had one. I've been thinking about making one, but for the moment, I think just the YouTube page is enough for me. But I will look into it definitely one day.
Yeah, it's we've always had one. I think because it was that's what you did back when we started. Like when we found all the, it was pre-YouTube when Knox was big and all of his same group, that Newgrounds group. When I first saw the internet creator, the image of that was you had this one person who just did everything himself. Like you made videos and you made a website to put those videos on, and you made podcasts sometimes. And that's what you did. So that's what I did. I just exactly mimicked what all these people were doing, and I think our whole setup still kind of reflects that old style of doing things, because that's what our website is still. It's got all those important pages, and back then we had the forum back when that was a thing. Now we have a subreddit, and that's what replaced it. But
okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
I had sorry, I just wanted to acknowledge the few people we have that have joined now. Hi, everybody. We have some people in the chat now.
Hi.
Maxence Schneider. I like that name. And MLG White Nuggets.
Actually, just a sec. I'll go and check out what's happening on that page, on the stream page.
Yeah, it's good to have it open just so you can see what people are saying. They're typing in all caps. Oh, and Burntel is here too. Hi, Burntel. Burntel is our oldest fan. He came from Newgrounds.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, just the audio from the stream just came up, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's really irritating.
Yeah, I got really disorientated, yeah, sorry if I missed the question, yeah. But yeah.
So do you, oh yeah, I was going to ask, do you still post your animations to Newgrounds, or do you only use YouTube now?
The way I kind of do it right now is, some of my animations, like some of my recent ones, are quite specific to YouTube. Like I did one kind of scathing one about machinima, and I did one kind of making fun of like fake pranksters, and that's just kind of in the context of YouTube. So I haven't uploaded them. I haven't uploaded them yet to Newgrounds, but I probably will. But if I have like a big cartoon, I'll definitely still upload to Newgrounds, because I still love Newgrounds, and I know people are aware that the moment it's kind of it's going through a bit of a rough patch, it seems, with like traffic and everything. And I think one of the things I was going to really ask from the podcast is like kind of your opinions on this and what they can do to try and bring back the, I guess, glory days, as it were, bring back the kind of community, because it seems like a lot of them have just migrated to YouTube for good,
Right, yeah.
It is sad. It's really sad to see. And like when I do really want to still upload stuff to Newgrounds, but the past few ones I have uploaded, they've got like maybe a few hundred views, and it's just it's so much different to a few years ago.
I'm not sure how to like regain web traffic for like that's definitely not my area of expertise. They are, I mean, it really just, things just didn't go in their favor is the problem. Like, they didn't do anything wrong. It was just that the entire internet collectively decided to turn on the one mechanic that their entire website was based on. It just kind of sucked.
Yeah, because I mean, I think at first it was that idea that it was all Flash based. They hadn't introduced the video player yet. So it was that idea of people wanting instant gratification, of being like, I want the video to play now. I don't want to wait like 5 minutes for a preloader to go off and then press play. And I get that. I understand that people want streamlined entertainment on the internet. But then they have, you know, now like basically every video, well, every animation on there is also in a video format. So there's no reason why that should be particularly penalized now. And as far as I know, they still have a fairly okay grasp on the games on Newgrounds. I think it's still quite good for games, but for animation, I think that's where it's kind of fallen a bit.
Yeah.
Fortunately, yeah.
That's a good point. You probably could get some more, especially because they're adapting. They're adjusting the videos to be actual video files now, and even the games,
Yeah.
like, they're letting you do HTML5 stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a big enough group that if they did come up with an idea that they would, like, Tom Fulp could show up and ask me for $20 and not give me an explanation, and I would give it to him immediately. Like, there's a big enough group of people that support that site so much that if they did come up with a way to do it, like, I know there's a huge group of people who would come help them immediately. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think, you know, they need to, obviously the site needs to be finished being optimized first, I guess. I'm not really sure where they are on that. Like, I'm not sure how much of it still runs off of Flash and how much has been converted.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose they're kind of, I think they might be due for like another redesign soon, it seems, because the last one was like 2011, I believe. So I think they're gonna probably maybe do another redesign. And as far as I know, I think it might be a bit more simplified, you know, like the whole Web 2.0 of like the sort of really clean Facebook, Twitter interface. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but I think they're going to try and make it more clean and sort of cell shaded kind of graphics. But I don't know, but I can kind of see them making a more lighter site, so it is more like portable. It's more like just streaming video straight away. And I really hope
necessary, probably.
Definitely. And like you were saying before, they have tried like so hard to like adapt to the new internet market, and I think, just like you said, I think it is unfortunate because the internet has moved to a place, and I think it's hard to bring it back, I guess, once they've gone away,
right,
in a sense. Yeah, definitely.
I've always thought their big selling point too is the fact that when I was first starting, I had a Newgrounds account and I had a YouTube account, and I could post something on YouTube and nothing happened because nobody knew it was there. On Newgrounds, you post it there, it gets reviewed within an hour, labeled with a color marking how good it is, and then if enough people still like it, it goes up on the front page. So it's literally like how good your video is equals how much attention you're going to get from it, which has never existed in any other community I've seen. And to me, it seems like they should really build that up and sell that, because that's, you know, that seems to be the what sets them apart from everybody else, even if just for animation. I think, you know, again, I think, you know, getting over the Flash stuff is one thing. I've also always kind of thought that some of the content they allow on the site probably isn't doing them any favors. Just because, like, they've even mentioned before having, you know, bad press because of it, and different advertisers not wanting to advertise with them. Just because of some of the stuff they let people upload. And if, you know, I don't know what it's, you know, it's up to them. This is all just my personal philosophies and stuff. But if I were doing it from a business perspective, I'd say you should just jettison all that stuff, because it's not helping the situation in any way.
Yeah, I suppose I think that is definitely the roots of Newgrounds going back, because I think in the very beginning, I think the very first incarnation of the site was just Tom Fulp uploading his games, and it was like something like shooting Teletubbies, like it was like deliberately quite controversial stuff. And so, and reading his news posts over the years, I think he still likes that kind of sort of atmosphere, that sort of guerrilla kind of flash making.
Let me be clearer, because I wasn't being clear at all. I actually do like the whole Newgrounds weird grungy kind of violent style. I was talking about like the literal porn and stuff that's on the site. Like that's not giving them great press, and never has, I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, I think YouTube and Newgrounds, I think, will always be quite distinct, separate entities, because Newgrounds will always be seen as this kind of independent website, and it has like such great, like, I guess you could say, kind of customer service. Like, you can, like, there's got to be so little websites now that you can actually just email like the admin of the site. Like, you can just send Tom Fulp like a PM, like whatever, like even if your account's like really small, and he'll just get back to you probably within like a day or two, and just give like a really nice sort of constructive response. You know, people talk about like getting in contact with YouTube is basically impossible because of all the stuff which has gone down on YouTube recently, like false copyright claims and all that. Like, you know, Newgrounds will always have that kind of community where it's more like, you know, it's more productive in the sense that like they just want to help each other rather than just a kind of free for all, which it seems to be on YouTube right now. So they will have that, you know, they always have that, which is good.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what chat's saying. They've been talking a little bit. Let's see. MLG White Nuggets is asking, will we do another Civ 5 themed video? Yes, we will. We will basically always be doing another Civ 5 themed video because we never run out of Civ 5 things to make a video about. There's so much stuff going on in that game. It's actually another. I still really like Newgrounds and I actually visit it regularly. But another problem too is that I don't animate anymore, which is crappy because I still like the site. And I've actually talked to Tom Folk before just about like asking him what his opinions were about maybe adding a small video portal section, you know, maybe not as big as the animation, but one where it's similar to the animation where it you know, it's only narrative, well-produced stuff. It's not YouTube like upload a vlog or something. It's sketches maybe with some leaning toward animation using special effects or something like that. If they added something like that, that would be amazing because I would love to still upload my stuff to Newgrounds.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, because I guess in the past there's been certain exceptions like the Numa thing, and I've seen a few more like live action things on Newgrounds recently, but I don't think they've been particularly well received. I think I saw some people trying to upload like game commentary videos, and everyone was just like, no, just don't, please don't start this trend. But like, I know what you mean, and like especially, you know, like your videos, you know, it's got good production value, and it's got like VFX as well, and stuff,
yeah,
it's not just
it's it's vaguely related to animation. It's kind of along the same line.
And it, you know, it's a video game parody. It's got interest people will like just as much as animation, I'm sure.
Maxence would like us to know that he has a lot of money, which I only assume he's sharing because he would like to give us some of it. So you talk to us afterwards. I'll work that out with you.
Maxence
Schneider.
Oh right, okay. I thought you said like Maxis, like the company which makes SimCity.
No, Maxis is gone. He axed them. That's I've mentioned this before, but I think one of the reasons our game parodies do fairly well is because we don't actually make fun of the games, like we don't insult them or like show them in a negative light. So we actually get some of the game companies sharing them, unless it's EA. I cannot bring myself to make a video about EA that is not insulting EA. Every time I try, I just end up so I don't make videos about EA games anymore.
Yeah. I know it's hard. It's a hard sort of fine line between like genuinely kind of making fun of like certain humorous kind of bugs in a game or something, and then blasting it kind of as a whole. And I think there is a fine line between that, but. From what I've seen of your video game parodies, it's humorous in a good way, which isn't particularly, it's not like offensive or anything. Yeah, and like you said, it's something which the company would be like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool actually. You know, I like this. You know, it's inspired some good videos from this game, so that's good.
Yeah, what we usually try to do is we just take something from the game and then just examine it from like. Our whole method is just remove the screen from the equation, sort of, and it's like, what does this look like if you're actually down in this world, and that's basically it. So we're usually not making fun of the game itself in that regard. We're just taking something and looking at it from a different angle. So that seems to work.
That's cool.
Somebody's asking how we're making the video live. It's a thing you can do on YouTube. It's if you go to my videos or something like that, there's a live streaming tab, and it's just a whole separate page for setting up a stream, and then it saves to YouTube after, which was great because it means I can do these podcasts and not put much work into them.
Yeah, I was going to ask like your opinions on some of the sort of recent developments of YouTube, and I know people now are saying like, oh, YouTube, it's like completely like gone downhill and things, and I know there's been a lot of changes such as like YouTube Red, the whole copyright debacle, the Fine Bros kind of thing, and sort of this idea of making people wanting to make YouTube more corporate. But I'm kind of wondering like as a creator yourself, like what do you kind of think about YouTube right now?
Well, I was actually just thinking about this recently, and I think one thing people forget is that YouTube never actually started as something like Newgrounds. It was literally just a file sharing site when it first was made. Like that was the whole point of it. It was you upload videos so that you can send them more easily to your friends, because back then it was really hard to do that. Like, you know, we had just gotten cameras that could record digital footage, and everybody had a personal computer, and the internet kind of had the bugs worked out of it, but sharing things was hard. So people made YouTube to share videos more easily. So the fact that it's turned into anything close to what it is insane. So it doesn't really... I've never looked at it and thought, you know, YouTube, you sold out or something like that, because it never was... It wasn't a big artistic thing to begin with.
Exactly.
I think, you know, it definitely has... obviously, it's really shifted towards the gameplay community a lot. That's, you know, that's what it's supporting now, which is fine, I think. I think what would be nice is if now... I think within, like, 2 years, it's going to become extremely difficult to actually, like, make a fresh living off of YouTube. I think it's... I think we're probably coming in right under the wire if we have not already missed it. And probably in another 2 or 3 years, like anyone who just suddenly decides, I want to go get big on YouTube, it's probably going to be next to impossible to actually pull off. Which I think just means we need a new site. It's a weird thing that people forget about because the internet has only been around for a while, but it kind of cycles through pretty fast. Like YouTube's only, it's only just hit about 10 years old recently, right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Well, people is. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
I was just gonna say, I think the problem is you just should try not to become too tied down to a single platform, because even the people who make stuff on YouTube, it's, you know, it's your company is based on somebody else's company, which is extremely unstable if that's all you're doing, which I think is why like Patreon existing now is great, because I could keep uploading my stuff anywhere and the people on Patreon would still keep supporting us because, you know, we can tell them like, hey, we're moving this over here now or something, and they would still be supporting us in that regard. So yeah. Yeah,
actually,
they would know.
Page before, and it's doing good, man. It's got like I think it's got like $200 a month or something.
Just about,
That's pretty sweet, man. I've been asked like a little bit like, why haven't I like started a Patreon, and like I just don't know, like for me I'm just kind of, it's one of those things I will get around to doing eventually, but I just haven't sort of done it yet. But I mean, I think everyone's got that little YouTube tip jar thing on their account, but I don't think anyone has ever used that before.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have some. Yeah.
Before about a new kind of site possibly for instead of YouTube, is people were saying that whole drama about like how Facebook's trying to basically take over that market, and I think, to be honest, that's a bit superficial, because A, like the views are counted differently, and B, it's just a completely different kind of mechanic. I know, but like I don't know if anyone use it, but back for what we said, I mean, it's just like, it's like the Wild West there. It's like everyone's stealing everything. There's no real like negative consequences for stealing someone's stuff. I just don't know, like, you know, like now on like a YouTube, the Facebook feed, when you click a video, it like goes into like a YouTube style kind of playlist. Have you noticed that? Like recently, it's like they're really trying to push it, but it's not going to be the same. It's like not a specific site really for that. But
I've never gone to Facebook looking for video content.
Looking for a video. Oh god, yeah, I know, man. But yeah, I remember like when did you like first start going on YouTube just to watch videos? Was it like when it first started?
My account was made in 2006, so I'm sure that was about around when I started. I wasn't uploading videos then, but that's when the actual, like, it somewhere it has recorded the date that the account was created, and yeah, it was back in 2006, so it was pretty early.
That's it. Yeah, that's really, mine's like 2007. But I was just thinking before, like when I used to like, the first time I ever went on YouTube, I was like walking back from school and someone was like, oh, the new Gears of War trailer is out on YouTube, and I didn't even know what YouTube was, and I went and watched it, and I started getting hooked on it. But I'm just trying to think like how different it was back then, because to my knowledge, I don't think any channels are monetized whatsoever, even like the bigger channels at the time. And like Smosh and like Ray William Johnson, I don't think they even were monetized, but they were just making videos to get big, and I guess for the fun of it and the satisfaction of getting subscribers. And like just the way it's changed now, and it just seems like the videos are so much more honest back then and so much more genuine, and now it's just an absolute free-for-all of like stealing ideas, stealing concepts, everyone doing the same sort of thing. And it's just, it's interesting kind of if someone kind of compared it in a bit more detail. I think it'd be quite fascinating, to be honest.
It is certainly different. Yeah, I've listened to a lot of podcasts and interviews with those older YouTubers about what it was like then. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah.
necessarily worse now, or if there's a a clear quality distinction between any specific time on YouTube, or if it's just different. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it is definitely a different setup, but back then it's always been kind of, it's never been easy. It's just been difficult for different reasons. Like back then it was difficult because being popular on YouTube wasn't a thing, and now it's difficult because it is, and everybody's trying to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is really just chance and just like making good stuff and sticking with it. Like we weren't making any progress until we started making things on a regular schedule. That was the main thing for us.
Right.
And now it's,
Right.
a
Yeah.
predictable growth almost that we can kind of guess, like by next month, I can pretty accurately say that by next month around the 25th, we should be at 10,000 subscribers based on the rate that it's been growing at now.
Nice.
And I couldn't say that before when we weren't uploading regular stuff because it was just completely by chance. I think what the big thing that has changed, and I actually think I see this as a positive thing, is that the age of the accidental fame on YouTube is completely over. Like that just doesn't happen anymore, where people post up one video, get super popular off that, and just hang around from that one success or that one stupid idea that they had.
Yeah.
Like it actually takes work to get up to that point now.
Yeah, it seems like channels nowadays they can sort of become irrelevant faster if they're not like doing a proper schedule. They're not like still producing good content. I think like you said. I mean, if you look at like a lot of the old like original YouTube stars like Fred and I guess the guy who did like Chocolate Rain, like
Right.
I don't think they even really exist in any sort of capacity on YouTube. I think Fred, the actual actor, I think he's called Lucas Cruikshank or something. He does have a YouTube channel, but I think he actually sold the Fred channel to like another company. I didn't actually know you could do that, but he did that. But I mean, it is interesting. And now, like, I think it seems the bigger channels I've seen right now are kind of the commentary channels, not like specific gameplay commentary, just like people commentating on like drama and like world events and stuff like that. They seem to be growing at an alarming rate. So I think it's interesting how the environment of YouTube has changed recently of what is considered good and popular.
Yeah, yeah. And well, and again, I think going back a little ways, that's the vlogs and YouTube kind of grew at the same time. Like they're together. I think a lot of people complain about there being too much of that stuff, but I remember complaining about there being too much of that stuff like 6 years ago. Like it's always been there. That's what people put on YouTube. That's just kind of the bulk of its content. It would be nice if somebody could make a system for, I think, filmmakers, animators, stuff like that. I think it'd be nice if it would diversify a little bit more.
Yeah, man.
I think it's frustrating maybe that YouTube kind of dominates the market right now, because also it's just kind of a technical thing. Like YouTube now, especially now that Google owns it, you can't find a site that runs, like, hosts and displays video better than YouTube. It's like, it's irritating if you go to a website and they have a video in a player that isn't YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. That is really true, actually.
YouTube
It's
just
quite
runs
sad to
better.
think about.
But the problem with that
Yes.
is that, it lets them just kind of do whatever they want and dominate that whole area. So I don't really know the solution to that, but I think I don't know, maybe if somebody came up with a site that really focused on a different kind of content, then maybe that would give them enough of a pull to develop some better infrastructure and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I think a quite a good example of that's possibly maybe like the Vine kind of website. But I had a look at the stats, and they're actually still quite small compared to YouTube. I don't know how accurate the stats were, but I saw some sort of graph about actual audience, and it was still quite far behind. But I mean, as far as I can see, Vine's a pretty good format, but obviously it's completely different to YouTube in length. But
Right.
that's quite a good example. And obviously that video player, it's like non-existent. You just have like the volume off and on button, and then it just plays on loop. So it's like, I guess it's like the whole idea is it's a GIF with sound, which is, a pretty good idea. It's been a long time in the making. So But as far as actual, long videos yeah, YouTube is probably going to be the biggest for a while now. But I'm sure it's going to get taken over by something. It's just a matter of time, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, it's just hard to catch up with the technical side of it, I think. But
Mm.
there were lots of websites that seemed pretty big back before I started interneting, really, that don't exist anymore. And
I
that a
know,
lot of
yeah.
people using YouTube don't even remember, probably, because they're all little kids.
Yeah, I remember back in 2007 when Newgrounds was like at its peak, loads of like Newgrounds clone websites like kept popping up,
Yeah,
and
well,
there was this
again, that's what I saw. That's what I watched all of my Flash animations on
yeah,
before I even
but there
found
were
Newgrounds.
But there was this one website which I'm pretty sure is completely gone now, but it was called, I believe it was called cookiejest.com. I don't know if it's still there, but I don't know if you've heard of it. But it was basically Newgrounds, but it was done in like a different sort of style. But it had its own automated portal and it had basically the same options as Newgrounds. It would just look different.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. I might like another place to upload my stuff. And then like I uploaded one of my cartoons I thought was quite good at the time. And then I came back to the website in the morning and it had like Turd of the Week on it. Like their version of actually it was called I Saw of the Week, and I was just like, great, that's cool, thanks for that. But then it had like literally no traffic, so I believe it shut down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Newgrounds was the thing people wanted to copy, man. That was the big thing for a long time, and it still can be,
And YouTube, when it first came out, there were a bunch of other YouTubes, basically. Like, there were all of these other ones that YouTube didn't even give you money at first. Did you ever try using MetaCafe? Or were you not making videos back then?
That's a good point, actually. I don't think I ever actually uploaded to that. No, I didn't.
I think I may have tried one or something, but I remember it coming out and it was like, you can get paid for ads on your videos, and that was a new thing that only they were doing. And then YouTube was like, okay, we'll do that too. And everyone's like, okay, screw you, MetaCafe, bye.
Yeah, well, I think I did a similar thing with Dailymotion, not the ad revenue, but I think I tried branching out onto different sites.
Yeah.
And then I would use like Vimeo a bit, but obviously that is kind of specialist. But I mainly use that for university kind of stuff. But like, yeah, I suppose right now the remaining video sites do have their own sort of slightly distinct purposes and uses for a good reason. But yeah, it's interesting to see how they sort of adapt and if they want to copy something, but if they want to try and bring something new to the table. Just depends, really.
I think Dailymotion is where you go to see dash cams and videos of like people dying. That's where those things go.
I think I remember, like, you kind of remind me because, like, like back when like YouTube wasn't bought by Google, they had like hardly any rules on copyright at all. Like, I used to watch it because like when the new Family Guy episode came out, because it wasn't aired in the UK, someone would just upload it to YouTube, and it didn't get taken down for like years and then when Google took over, they were like, right, we're gonna like copyright everything we can, which but then like I remember someone in 2007, I think it might actually still be there just for like posterity, but like someone uploaded the entire Men in Black film in 240p back in 2007,
240, wow.
and it didn't get taken down for years. And no one actually knew how it happened because you couldn't upload anything more than 10 minutes. And he just straight up uploaded the whole film. And everyone was like, what the, like, I mean, that's cool, but like, why did he do this and how? And if anyone's heard of that in the chat, you should like look it up and just tell if it's still there, because that would be so funny if it was still there. But I'm telling you, Google's probably squashed it by now. But yeah, that would be pretty cool, I gotta say. But yeah.
I have been watching the chat. Sorry, I haven't been responding. This is the issue with the podcast, is we get into conversation and we can't really like, directly talk to people. We had a series going where we just responded to people's comments, and I think we'll do a podcast episode like that every now and then. Like next week, I don't think we're gonna have any guests on, so we'll probably just collect a bunch of comments from you guys from other videos, and read those off and respond to them. But
cool.
Hello to Arthur and Liberal Pyromania. How you guys doing? Happy that you've joined us.
Yeah, I was being asked as well. Like you have like a gaming channel as well, right? Like the Land of Q. Is that what that is?
We do not really use it at the moment. We're kind of like playing with it. We're planning on one of our Ian in our group. He wants me to play through the Metal Gear series, because it's his favorite one, and he has said that he's going to edit it, So I'm just gonna go over there and we're gonna play it and record it, and he's gonna cut it together and start putting it on there. And it's just something we do on the side for fun. It certainly isn't our main focus in any way.
Right, yeah. Because it's weird now thinking about how many sort of animators have kind of migrated to gaming channels, or at least have one on the side. And it's something like obviously I've considered, but I think the way I see it is like I love animation. That's my passion. That's what I want to do, like as a job. And I think I just want to just keep uploading animation. And you know, if it's not getting that many views, or it's not making that much money, I mean that's kind of fine. It's just kind of like, it's more of like a hobby still for me, to be honest. And I have like a job as well, which I do part time, and I do part-time YouTube. But I mean, like, I understand people wanting to do it like a gaming channel to get more content out, get a higher volume, especially if you're like an animator who takes months to make work. But I don't know, like it's one of those things really, and I think a lot more people are doing it now, but I don't know, it's just something I haven't really considered, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and you know, we've been talking about YouTube this whole time, and I haven't once, neither of us have once brought up how it's totally screwed over animators. Like another reason Newgrounds is still kind of preferred, because YouTube is not at all. Because its whole thing is, you know, you get money and benefits based on how much video people watch. And so yeah, animation just does not work with that model at all, because it's a small amount of video for stupid amounts of work, like just ridiculously long amounts of work.
Yeah, I was trying to think, like, if there is a person who just does animations, if they can just live off YouTube. And I was trying to think who the biggest animator is. It might still be Oni, of like maybe 2 million subs, I believe, or something.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think who the biggest actual animation channel is, and I don't quite know. But
the How It Should Have Ended, maybe they do basically all animation.
Oh yeah, that is actually probably the one. Yeah. And actually, they've got quite a big team now, so they seem to be doing a fair amount of actual content, which is good. But I guess they have quite big overheads. But yeah, you're right. That probably is the biggest one. Yeah.
But yeah, another thing too, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the gaming stuff, which I think there's part of the reason there's so much of it is because, unlike animation, it looks really easy, and so everybody, like you said, like everybody has a gaming channel, everybody tries to do it. But I think the people who get big in that area do so because they have some presentation skill. Like there are abilities that go into that make you better suited for that specific type of entertainment and that type of video. Like you have to have a decent personality, basically. Like you're selling yourself, essentially. You have to be able to present things.
Yeah.
You have to have you have to kind of have a strong voice. You have to be a likable person. Like it's kind of like hosting or sports commentating even sometimes. But you know, there's all these people who I would teach a bunch of people, because I actually taught Flash animation for a little while.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of them were kids, and I would so many times see kids like talking about having their little channel with their friends, because you know they go, I play games and have friends, I can do that too. But they forget that you actually kind of have to be funny to make it work.
Yeah.
So I'm sure because it would be a good combination to do animation and to do that from a, just purely from a practical perspective, to do both of those things at once, because then you have one thing that's actually supporting you, and then you get to do animation on the side. But, I guess you have to have both skill sets, which makes it kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys still with Channel Federator, right?
We are not, actually. I was going to bring that up because I noticed that you are.
Yeah. I've been on since, I believe, October 2014. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were with them for about a year. And then after a year, we realized that we don't make animation anymore. Which
right.
And then also that because of that, we weren't really getting, like, we were getting quite a few more views on our videos, and they were taking a cut of that, but we weren't really getting anything from them, just because we were doing most of our own advertising. So we just left. There wasn't anything wrong. They were actually one of the we were with Maker Studios first, and they were just not impressive at all. And Frederator was extremely friendly, and I think for animators they're probably fantastic, but it just wasn't benefiting us much. So
yeah, because I remember, I think it was like early 2013. I think I think we were actually messaging each other because I think I was trying to recommend you like a network to join, I think. And I think the one I recommended was something like Social Blade or whatever it was. But I think
Yeah,
like
that
the
was
sort of strand of Maker Studios, and that's the one I was on it. I was actually on it for 2 years because I just missed the deadline after the first year to switch,
yeah.
and so I had to stay on for a whole year. And like I'm sure like some elements of the network are good, but the one I was on, I think like you said, it was kind of one of those ones where they take the cut, but then I wasn't essentially getting that much other than like the free audio library,
Right.
that kind of thing. But as like a customer sort of service, a customer platform, that was kind of non-existent back then. So that's kind of why I left and I went to Channel 38, which I think it's been an amazing network actually, in my case anyway. It's been good.
We, since last weekend, have actually just joined the Curse network, though. We were without one for about a year, and we joined on Squire's recommendation.
Oh, that's cool. Is that the one where it's like you get like 90% revenue or something?
Yeah. It's gaming related, and apparently we do just enough to to qualify for that category.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we just joined that one, so we'll see how that works out. But it's also nice because they don't lock you into a contract. You can leave at any point. You just give 30 days notice.
Oh, right.
So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how that works.
It's kind of become a bit of a joke now because of how many emails you get of people offering you like $20 per 1,000 views and being like, yeah, we'll give you all this stuff, and it's like a network you've never ever heard of, but it's apparently like YouTube certified, and it's like I keep getting emails from this company where they want to like help me get more analytics, but like the analytics are basically exactly the same as YouTube, and they're like just sign in with your
analytics.
yeah, it's like just sign in with your YouTube account on this dodgy website and we'll give you all the analytics you could possibly want. It's like, you're just going to take all my videos, aren't you? And it's just like, yeah, like you said, like YouTube has like the most, like the most detailed analytics you could possibly want. Like what more information do you want to know?
If you do want more information, you just go to Google Analytics, which is exactly the same thing, but with more detail. And then, there is no third-party website that can give you more.
Yeah.
Thanks, Burntel. Appreciate that.
I feel that it's like it is weird because when you do first start out, you probably do get shocked by a lot of these kind of like networks, and they probably are a bit more naive, and they probably might just take the first one which they get and might be like, oh, they're actually interested, even though it's like a copy and pasted email saying we love your work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they do get suckered in, but I think now people are being a bit more savvy, and I'm constantly seeing posts on Twitter kind of advising actual good networks to join and not like weird kind of shady third-party ones.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be okay for people.
To catch new people up, this is Nicholas Deary, aka MakBot. Am I pronouncing your name right?
MakBot, yeah. Well, which one?
Your actual name.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. He's an animator from Newgrounds, like me.
Yeah.
And we are just having a very long conversation about Newgrounds and YouTube and posting stuff on the internet.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things because like I suppose it's a fairly specific subject, but I think obviously we both have like a lot of experience in it, and it's just something I love to talk about. But like you can't like exactly talk about it with your friends because like what you talking about.
Well, no, it's really interesting to me because I don't ever have anybody to talk about this with.
I know.
I don't know if it's interesting to people watching. I hope they're getting something from it. But yeah, it's because there isn't a way to go just look this stuff up. Nobody's teaching it or anything. Or at least nobody's teaching it well. I've seen some people who are like, here's how to get successful on YouTube. And I'm like, you have 2,000 views on this video. I'm going to go elsewhere.
Yeah. Oh man, have you ever heard of like Fiverr.com?
Yeah.
The website. Have you seen like the sort of cesspool of like stuff you can buy on there? Like
I haven't been.
You can buy like 1 million views, totally not like a bot, and like all these like weird things where it's like accounts. Like I once saw one where it was like this guy with a Twitter account. He somehow managed to obtain like a verified symbol, but he had like 100% like bot followers. And he was like, I'll tweet out your link for like $5 or whatever. And like, it just got no audience retention, obviously, because no one was actually looking at it. But I don't know how these people do it. And like all these like things like slow feed view drips or whatever it is. It's just, I don't know why some of the stuff is like staying up there. I mean, they seem to have really lax policies is what is considered good custom on that website, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
But like,
I remember that one coming out. I'm surprised that's still around. actually.
I was gonna do like an expose video on Fiverr, just how like shady it is. I might still do it actually because
We had a Fiverr joke in our last video actually that we
oh
posted this
really?
last Monday. Yeah, just coincidentally.
Yeah, man. But I mean, there are like I think there's always been really cheap shortcuts. People try to like buy your success at YouTube, but it's like I think how can you possibly think that would work? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, well,
But you know,
it definitely doesn't work now because the YouTube monitors it too well. Like
oh
they
yeah,
can usually they know immediately. Plus, if you're signed on with a network, like one of their main rules, like they repeat several times throughout the contract is, do not artificially increase your views. We will drop you immediately.
I know, man. Actually, yeah, that brings me on to have you ever tried like YouTube's own like ad buying system at all?
I don't know. I guess not. What is that?
It's like you might have seen it on the video manager where it's like promote your video or something like that. Like a little tag comes up,
I
and
did see where you could like upload a video ad or something.
yeah,
Like
it's
that.
I think it's kind of similar to that. But basically, yeah, you just select a video, you give it a bit of like information, titles or whatever, and then you basically you bid for the amount of I guess it would be cents per view. Like you might say, I will give someone 3 cents to view this video. And but it works out that you never to me it's weird because like if you say 3 cents per view, it's going to cost a lot of money to get actual decent views. And I guess you can't put ads on the videos because they're actually ads themselves because they just pop up. They're like the videos which pop up as video adverts at the start of other videos. So
Right.
you can make
Yeah.
it stay. And I was talking to my manager at Frederator, and apparently you can like they have like people who can work with you to actually make it a bit more viable, so you're not just wasting your money. But I think I worked out that advertise to buy 40,000 views legitimately, it costs £2,000. So
Wow.
it's like, yeah, like, and I think that's why only big businesses do it because they
Right.
can afford to have those views. But I guess it's not really designed for like smaller channels because they'll just. Because I was thinking about a kind of cool idea of like all the money I make, I funnel it back into my channel, but it just wouldn't work like for the moment. But it's a nice idea. But
I'd still recommend a Patreon page. It's a good way to
yeah,
because like we're getting enough of our Patreon page to basically fund the videos now, which is great.
yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I will get on to doing that eventually. Yeah, definitely. Because it seems like the way to go.
Let's see for the last for the last 10 minutes. You want to see if we can take some comments from the chat since we've been ignoring them for most
Cool.
of the thing. we have one question from if you guys in the chat now would like to ask us questions, we will pay immediate attention to you or as immediate as we can with the delay. Burnt Owl asked, "Hey MakBot, what do you do and are you British?" I think we've been talking about what you do for the whole time.
Yeah, I'm British. Yeah. If he means like my job, my part-time job is like a lecture animation at university. I lecture
Okay,
this
cool.
compositing program called Nuke, which is kind of like a souped-up version of After
People have
Effects.
mentioned that before. I looked it up and it was really expensive, so then I stopped looking it up.
Yeah, it's like £5,000 to buy the package, but you can get like an educational version which doesn't actually really have watermarks, so it's kind of basically free. But you can only export maximum 1080p, which isn't exactly an issue. But yeah, I teach that part time, and I do part time YouTube at the moment. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good because it's like I get a lot of freedom to still do YouTube. I'm still enjoying it. I've still got cartoons in the works. I've got like a really weird SpongeBob cartoon I'm still making, which will be released hopefully soon. It's called SpongeBob Travels to a New Dimension, and it's basically just him like spinning around. Oh really? Did it? Oh no.
No, I mean sort of.
Oh,
I'm referencing the weird time travel one where Squidward gets in the time machine or
okay,
something.
I might have to watch that. I may have inadvertently ripped off an entire episode, but no, it's just really like it's kind of psychedelic and weird for the sake of it. Like I don't know if you ever watched like that Minecraft cartoon I made called Minecraft in 30 seconds. I mean that was made as a joke, but it's got like 800,000 views. But like it's basically like Minecraft Steve's head like spinning around and going into like a new dimension. Like it wasn't meant to be like serious. I made it in like 2 days,
Yes,
and everyone was like, "Oh my."
You put Minecraft in the title. So.
I know. But like everyone was like, "This isn't what Minecraft is. I'm really angry now," and it's just like. And then there was a bunch of other people being like, "I'm scared now," and it's just like, "Come on now, like it's not like, come on, it's just a bit of fun." But yeah, that ended up being like my most viewed video, which is a bit weird.
Jennifer Sharp is asking, "What do you think of Civ 5?" I assume she's asking you.
I've actually never played that game. I have played Age of Empires a lot. I like that game, but I've never played Civ. My friends play it, but I've never played it personally. It looks very intricate, so it might be something I would go into playing soon. But I've never played it before, actually.
It's really, I think it's the only strategy game I actually like playing. I've tried some of the other ones, like the real-time ones stress me out too much. This one's more like, it's kind of like Risk, but fun. Like, there's just a lot more detail into it, and I play it wrong, though. I don't actually do it the way you're supposed to. I just sit in the corner and build stuff while everybody else is warring with each other, and I'm just over in the corner as Egypt, like, hey guys, I built all the wonders, and then they all get angry at me.
Right. I heard it's like you can spend just hours on games, like 8 hours on a game or whatever it is.
Yeah, so, interesting point. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the channel before. I've never finished a game of Civ 5 before, despite making.
Are you sure?
videos.
Are you sure you want to admit that?
I've never gotten all the way through one. We've started so many games, and I've never actually reached the end of the game and completed one because they last so long.
Okay, well, I've never actually played Minecraft, so I mean,
Oh,
I'm kind of
really?
guilty. Yeah, I never played in my life, but
Wow.
you know, so that's quite a bit of a mission as well. So, you know, you're not
Yeah,
alone.
we started that one back in where our server. We have a server that we keep adding to. Like, we started our first Minecraft server, and every time it's updated, we've like taken the chunk out of the original server and placed it into a new one so we can keep all our old buildings. And so
Right.
there's the core of our server is still was generated in the alpha game. So it looks like completely different. Like when the game was in alpha, back when it was in development, that's the center
Right.
of our entire city thing. That's how long we've been playing
Right.
that.
I still like. I think one of my favorite videos of yours is still like the Minecraft video you did with like all the After Effects shots. I just
Streaming one,
I
yeah.
just like I like just how original it was. Like obviously it's a parody, but it's original in itself. The way it was created, I like that, and yeah, it's cool. And I think my other favorite is probably the Rocket League one, just because I just laughed. I just laughed so hard at the shot when you're just driving on the roof and on the ceiling. And like I don't know, like I just feel like those videos, man, they should have got so many more views, but like for some whatever reason, it just YouTube being YouTube, man. But like,
Yeah, it's just hard to get. You know, Reddit has actually been a huge help for us too.
Yeah, well, I heard about the whole Halloween video.
Well,
which
that
came
yeah.
out. Yeah, that was crazy, man. I was there when it happened. Well, yeah, I was there when it was kind of on the front page, and that was insane, man. But that must have been awesome, man. When that happened, you're just like, it's
Yeah.
happening, it's happening.
Yeah, no, that was the only time that's ever happened. That was a crazy day, and that wasn't even. We didn't post that. I didn't know anything about Reddit at that time. It was somebody else from
Oh,
Newgrounds
really?
actually, who put it up on the site. And
And all of a sudden,
I had to learn
so you're
how
just
to
like, yeah.
yeah, I had to learn how to use Reddit real fast. And then for about a year, we started posting our own stuff discreetly because there's a lot of good stuff and there's a lot of not quite as good stuff, and they're very against posting your own work for some reason. It's really irritating, and I could go into a whole rant on that, but I won't because we're near the end of the podcast. But
I can just imagine you just like on the analytics page of that Halloween video, and just all of a sudden like a landslide, like shaking your computer screen, just like it's coming.
Well, it was interesting because when I uploaded it, I thought, like, I spent some extra time on it, and I made sure to get it out that day. Like I did it on Halloween, and the next day I was like, I'm going to release this day because this feels like something that could do pretty well if for some reason somebody found it. And so, but it won't do well if I wait any more than like a day after Halloween because it won't be topical anymore.
Of course,
so
yeah.
I spent the whole day editing it and put it up, and I was like, all right, well, there's that. And then yeah, next day I got up and had a slight heart attack when I found the video.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the house that morning too. And so I called Ian up. I was like, Ian, this is the login information for our YouTube page. I need you to answer all the comments as they come in because I'm not going to be able to. And then I had people texting me like, dude, I just saw you on the front page of Reddit, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird what you were saying before, how like when you have that feeling, like when you're in the middle of producing a video and you have a feeling like this might go viral, but I feel like it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of like it won't become viral if you think it's gonna go viral.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what I was saying with that Minecraft video. I made that as a joke, but it ended up being my most successful video. So I kind of feel like, and I've had this many times when you're maybe like 3/4 of the way through a video and you start to think like, oh, this is like in my mind, like, oh, this is like really cool. Like this could really be a big viral video. And then I get too excited, and then I might release it a bit early, like maybe like cut off the ending or like shorten it.
Oh, yeah,
And then because
yeah.
I've done that, it's made it like a less of a good video in a sense, and then it hasn't become viral. So I feel like you can kind of get, it's kind of like psychological in the sense that you can get too ahead of yourself, and it's just maybe it's time to just turn off that kind of need for views or whatever and just make videos regardless, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just noticed that there's somebody in our chat named Black Thunder. That's interesting. Let's see. Any more chat questions? Anybody want to go ahead and just ask us like any final questions before we sign off? Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, or?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask like what's coming up for White Lightning. Have you got like any plans to make another film, or is it more of just kind of like weekly videos?
Well, we are working on a series right now that we would be able to. It's hard because we want to do a lot of things that cost money.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. And it's this really irritating loop where it's like you can't really get, like, there's no way to get funding because you're not popular. It's kind of like we have to keep doing this stuff to get popular, to get people to invest anything in us. But we did come up with a series that we think we'll be able to do without spending a whole lot of money, and that we'll be able to make as we go.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, I hope to work on that, and I would. It's again, it's another one of those things where I kind of wish there was another website other than YouTube that, you know, focused on web series or something, like a Netflix that we could post it up to, something like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the future you guys will have like a YouTube Red original series or something like that, like the ones I've seen popping up. But,
yeah. But yeah, that's I mean that's really our bit. We want to make more actual narrative stuff. It's just, you know, it takes longer, and that, you know, that becomes a problem because then you're not uploading things. So we kind of have to do both at the same time. I still have an animation that I kind of wanted to get finished, but I have no idea when I'm going to do that. Like the third Fable video has been sitting there unfinished for like 3 years or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was going to say that's like because they were like huge on Newgrounds, weren't they? Like I think those are the videos I
that was
saw
our first kind of big thing, yeah. And
yeah,
I still love those characters. Like I have an entire series idea with those characters, but I don't have time to animate things. Like I actually can't take the time to sit down and and make an animation.
Like the style's really nice, and like that I think it was the No Service cartoon that got like all the awards ever on Newgrounds.
Yeah.
And that was
that's nice to end on a high note at least.
Yeah, those are obviously what draw me to your account on YouTube. Yeah, those cartoons.
But I am.
So yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to set aside some time at some point to at least finish that one Fable video, because it also I collected voice actors for it, right? Like from around Newgrounds, because it was going to be this big thing. And a lot of those voice actors are actually kind of popular now. And they weren't back then. Like we have Rice Pirate in it, Jazz's in it, Donkey's Bazooka. I don't think that's the name he goes by on YouTube now, but he was doing the voice of one of the villains in it. Like we have this huge collection of people. And I have all their lines. It's sitting right there. I just have to sit down and animate it, but it just takes so long. I have not had the time to do it.
That's cool. Yeah, I had a similar thing. Like I used to have Rice Pirate voice quite a lot of my stuff back in 2012, and he's super nice, and and then he would like promote it after it was done, and, you know, stuff like that, and it's crazy. Like he's huge now, and he's so I'm glad he's doing good. So yeah. Yeah,
I should have him on an episode at some point.
Oh, that would be insane, man. Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Particularly because when he first came out, we insulted him on the same podcast. So...
Did he? What did he? Really? What did he say?
I don't want to go and do all of it right now.
Okay. It's probably water under the bridge now.
Tease for next time. Yeah, no, he was super cool about all of it, which is nice of him. But...
Are you just gonna like next week? Are you just gonna like a live stream where you just slag off all the YouTubers?
I really don't have anybody online who I dislike. Like I've been listening to podcasts of Rhett and Link do a podcast where they interview all the big YouTubers, and they've been doing for a while. And if you go listen to those, even the ones who you feel like you're predisposed to dislike like some of those people who you just look at and you're like, they must be annoying just because, I guess because they resemble real life celebrities who are annoying or something.
Yeah.
But then you go and listen to these
yeah.
podcasts, and everybody who's gotten really big on YouTube is an amazing person because they've had to claw their way up from nothing. Like, you know, they didn't have anything to start with. They didn't have a background in film or anything, and they've had to learn all this stuff. And so they're usually just like they're really intelligent, gracious, like thankful people. And you know, they have all these charity things, and they're usually like these really awesome people. So I'd like to. That's why I'm trying to do this, because I want to talk to as many other YouTubers and online creators as possible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good way. That's a great way of doing it. Really, it's good insights. You know, if anything, really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really interesting talking to everybody. You know, talking to you is really cool to get some background on all the animation stuff, and I just need to, you know, learn how to make more connections. That's kind of what I'm trying to do through this, because I've failed at that so far on my YouTube career.
Yeah, well, I remember a little while ago I tweeted out that white lining is gonna be huge, and I still believe that. I do think I generally do. I mean, I know you're sick of hearing like, oh, why don't you guys have more subscribers or whatever.
We get that a lot. Yeah,
yeah, I know.
Which
you
is better than the
like,
alternative. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it is a shame. Like there's animators, like, I don't know if you heard of like Blordo, the Australian animator. His stuff is like amazing, man. Like, he has such an amazing color palette, and he's generally just really good at animation. He only has like 2,000 subs, and he's been on the game since like 2007. Just stuff like that. But like, there are channels, unfortunately, the way it works, but there's some channels are just overlooked, and for whatever reason. But I still maintain that white lining is going to be huge. Just watch this space. You know, watch the space.
Well, I hope that works out. I've actually been thinking about trying to put together I mentioned, you know, it'd be great to have like a Netflix for web series, and I was thinking just over the last 2 days, like it might not be too hard to pull that off. Like if you use something like Vimeo, where you can pay basically just to have video hosting, you could create a site that is separate from YouTube, and I could, you know, like go contact people who have made web series, and they'd probably be totally up for having their stuff hosted on a site where they get, you know, a page dedicated to their series, and you can just click and watch through, you know, so that people can just go there specifically to find web series and not any of the other stuff that YouTube has, like to find narrative stuff. So I might actually look into putting that together soon, and maybe trying to use that to help out other people too. I'm not sure how that would work, but, you know, might be.
That would be sweet. Yeah, awesome.
All right, I guess that about does it for this episode then.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
man.
Thanks
been great
for joining.
talking to you. Yeah, it's been really interesting. So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the outro animation now, and in the future, I'm going to come up with a way to do that without first having to tell someone, so that we have a smoother ending.
All right. So, well, bye everyone.
Thanks
awesome.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back I think Friday evening next week, not Saturday, because we'll be busy all day Saturday. But we will, I think, just be doing like a community comments, basically. So leave your comments on our videos, and we'll get to those and some of the old ones that we've been ignoring. Yeah, I guess that's it. See you guys later.
Bye.